right, guys, we are back here, and yeah, don't feel my best, but we're gonna power right through like we always do. Quick update, just yeah, on day 12 of being back on my meds, and actually, I'm sorry, it's day 13, and it's been rough, but it's getting better little by little. It's just I wish it was faster, and it's not, but so be it. So if I'm a little off, it's because of that. It's not because of my interest in the guest or the episode. I'm just feeling yucky. But our next guest is somebody who I met again on TikTok. I met so many awesome people there, and she came in the last like month or so. And she's just delightful, and a lot of times just so many who just go through stuff. Like I don't really know a lot about these people until they share. Like I'm always sharing my stuff, and I don't know. They gravitate towards me for whatever reason. Whatever they like about me, they stay, and then we become friendly, and then somewhere or another, it's like, hey, oh, you could be a good guest for the podcast, and that's how it kind of all works. But she's a really young girl, young sweet girl who just has always been nice to me, and just friendly, and I appreciate kindness because every day I receive a lot of rude people, and she is definitely not one of them. So anyway, sweetheart, would you like to tell us your name and a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Megan. I'm 18 years old. I'm from Greece. And the reason I'm on this podcast here today is to share my story and my journey on mental health.
Awesome. Right. Well, yeah, I appreciate you wanting to come on. And so where do we start with your journey with mental health?
Should we start from the very beginning?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. So, when ever since I could remember, ever since I was a little girl, I just remember always being on the go, always moving to various different places. There's not one time where we had like a good permanent place because we were just always on the go. And with being on the go a lot, you do kind of get to experience a lot of different things, a lot of different people due to so many change of locations. So after you've seen so much, and when you grow up, you do realize that, Jesus Christ, people are kind of crazy. And then you realize, wait a minute, maybe I'm also not, I wouldn't say crazy, but maybe you're also not as normal as you think you are. I don't know if anybody feels that way too when they just think they thought they're normal, but their normal was actually not normal.
Right.
So, you do get kind of like a reality check, and when you grow up, you're like, whoa, wait a minute, maybe I was wrong. But yeah, I think also not really being able to find an identity with yourself due to not really knowing where you belong. That can also lead to a huge doubt, and can potentially lead to really bad issues with mental health, which I have unfortunately gone through, and I have seen some stuff that I really did not want to see. But sorry, I feel like I'm just rambling.
No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
fine.
I will
You're
let you
fine.
speak for a bit. I'm so sorry.
No, please stop. You're fine. You're fine. No, I get it. Yeah, I went through a period of where you go through like just trying to be anything but yourself, and you're also trying to find a safe space, but you don't really know what your safe space is because you're not even being
Yeah.
yourself. So how can you find that space if you're not who you are? If you're trying to be everyone else, I always would talk about how somebody would say to me like, "Hey man, that new so and so's album is terrible," and I'd be like, "Yeah, you're right."
Mm.
And then at the time, because I'm a little older than you, I would say like, "Oh, that's on my iPod," or I would say it would suck too, but meanwhile, it would be on
Yeah.
my iPod. I'd be listening to it, and because I didn't want anyone to make fun of me for liking something they didn't like, because I didn't want people, I didn't want to like other things that other people didn't like. I didn't want to be myself. And so for a long time, I just was just this journeyman trying to find where my safe space is. But I realized in order to find that, I actually had to come out of my shell, and I had to learn how to be myself. If I didn't, I was never going to find it. Like, that's where when you come across me now, you find me, you see like, oh, he's just being himself. Well, that took a long time for me to get to that point, because I had to realize that, hey, you know what? Yeah, maybe I have scars. Maybe I have all these things that are wrong with me, but that doesn't take away from who I am as a person. And so I have to learn to love myself. And then it's like, then people will come. Now I get more people saying nice things to me more than ever in my entire life. And that's because I'm just being me. So, yeah, I get it.
Exactly. I mean, I feel like when it does also come to a point where you're just like, you would rather be anybody but yourself, that is a really scary point, especially for young people nowadays. I mean, I believe now is the most depressed. I feel like now is, sorry, English is not my first language, so I got it. My brain has got to think quick.
Oh, you're fine.
What?
Oh, no, you're
Sorry?
fine. You're fine.
Sorry. But of course, now a lot of teenagers are going through so much, and I believe this is the most depressed we've ever been. And I strongly, strongly believe it has something to do with social media, because, oh boy, let me tell you, when I first got on social media, I was very young. I was, I think, around the age of 10 or 11 when I first got my first phone. And, you know, it was really, really, it really changes your brain chemistry in a way that you really wouldn't expect. I mean, I feel like now I'm on social media so much that I actually forgot what it's like to, like, this is my normal, you know, you don't really, I actually forgot what it's like to, I actually forgot what it's like to not be on social media, you know, and with all of that, there's just so much extra stress and so much extra negativity, because you see all these things and eventually you put the phone down, and then you think to yourself, like, holy shit, like, what the actual heck is going on? Why am I doing this? Why am I just on my phone all the time? And it took me a while to realize that it is a distraction from life. It is a distraction for most teenagers that are going through stuff. I mean, especially when you have gone through so much at a young age, which is really, 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 I mean, it's very hard to relate to, especially people in real life. You know, they don't really understand or comprehend the idea of literally going through hell and back at the ripe age of 15 and 14 years old. And it's just like a shocker. It's like in your face that you, at the end of the day, you do kind of stand out in a way. And I believe that also played a really, really big part of my mental health and how it deteriorated over the past, I would say, 4 years. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just something I have to push through. And, you know, of course, there's days where I feel like I don't want to push through. And there's just days I just stay in bed and don't even bother to get up. But things have to be done. So even if I am not feeling my best, I just have to push through and pretend like it's good. And there's a point where I think I actually convince myself that I'm doing fine. And then the realization comes crashing down on me that everything's not actually fine. So I believe. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry if I'm rambling.
No, you're fine. Stop worrying. You're fine. I promise you, you're fine. I am a known rambler, so you're fine.
But yeah, what is there another topic I also would like to get into that I forgot because I was busy rambling? As a person who has struggled with substance abuse herself, it's very hard to see another person you love as well go through that. I feel like there's so many kids out there that have to witness things that they don't need to witness and that they shouldn't have to witness. But especially when it's within your family, you know, it's something that really, really, I wouldn't say makes you feel ashamed, but it definitely makes you have these dark thoughts of maybe this is also an explanation on why there might be something wrong with me. And especially when you have parents that I wouldn't say are the worst, but they're definitely not the best. And you live on this small island in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. There's not many resources like there is in the U.S. And there's many people where I live that have unfortunately lost their lives due to lack of resources, and not just like rehab or anything like that, but also medical care. There's many people in our hospitals right now that are suffering because we don't have the right medical, because we don't have access to anything more beyond outside of Cyprus, which is really horrible. And I also believe plays a big role in the way people can get treated, and it's just horrible.
Yeah, I think a lot of people here, even in America, we take it for granted because it's not perfect. Our system is pretty busted, but we do have the resources. We do have the information. We do have the doctors. We have a lot that if somebody's in trouble, it's like if you're having a panic attack, you could go to the ER and they can put something in your IV and they can prescribe you something that'll help. And, they can, tell you to go to a therapist or psychiatrist and, and there's just many other ways. There's so many other ways of just being able to get help. But yeah, if you don't have that, and I can only imagine that you start to feel like you're truly alone because you're like, no one cares to help me. And maybe it's just because I'm the problem. Like it's my fault. Like I'm broken. I'm these things. And I think everybody goes through it no matter where you're from. But if you have lack of resources and you don't have, if your family's not being super supportive or whatever, it's going to be really hard for you to feel like, if I fit in the world, I'm normal or I'm sane or whatever it is. Because it's you need to know. Like, I mean, every day, like I get compliments and I still friggin' beat myself up, and I still need to have like positive interactions with people. I still need to like tell myself every day that it's going to be okay and that I'm a good person. Every day I got to do that, because otherwise I start to go back to old behavior and I start really getting depressed and anxious and feeling alone. And so, I mean, as a person who has resources and someone who knows better, who's been doing this a lot longer than you, it's hard because and I can only imagine from the country you're from and with the lack of resources, it has to make it even tougher than whatever I went through. So, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of problems with the resources, but I feel like there's also more problems with the way that people act. I mean, I have seen it myself in your lives every single day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's truly, truly so bizarre to me on how people are it's just so normal for them. I mean, I could never imagine myself talking to a person the way some people talk to, I mean, either people with disabilities or people that they think are not attractive. I mean, there's very much a bias there, and it's just so mind-blowing to me because at the end of the day, we're all humans and we all bleed red, so I don't understand why you think it's funny to put somebody down and because it makes you feel like you're up. I don't know, it's just so bizarre to me. I can never wrap my head around it.
Well,
And
there's different variations, right? Like there's the religious people, there's the racist, goofy, just they'll say anything awful and offensive, and then you got the people that are super curious, and then and there's other variations, but like it's the ones that bug me the most. Like I don't care if somebody's like, look, I hope you die. Like that's terrible, and I can't believe people say that and do that kind of shit. But those people don't even know what the hell they're saying, right?
yeah,
they're kids that are just trying to say the most like outrageous thing possible. It's the ones that actually think it's okay to go up to a human being and go, what's wrong with your eye? Are you blind? What's wrong with you? How'd your eyes get like that? Are you high? All these things that I get. And I've seen it to other people's
yeah,
lives who have other disabilities. You know, if they're short, like if they have dwarfism, they'll make a bunch of short jokes or whatever, right? And it's like every day I get asked something very like mundane that any person can do, regardless if you have sight or not. How did you go live? Or how do you shower? How do you do any of these things if you're blind? And it's like, dude, like, how can you read? Can you read all these things? And you're like, dude, like, to me, the saddest part is that there are so many people that think that that's okay. Like, I joked about it and said, like, hey, was there a meeting that I missed that like we all just came to the agreement, like, hey, this guy, this My Blurred Opinion Timothy guy, we need to all just go up to him and ask him what happened. What's wrong with it? Like, when did this start? Because it's like, if it was one or two people, 10 people, whatever. But the fact that it's thousands almost at this point, it's hundreds for sure.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
man, and that's and I somebody said today, they were like, well, you know you should expect it. You're on the internet, and it's like, okay, I expect it, but it doesn't mean I have to accept it. And I'm not
exactly.
going to accept it because it's rude, and you can't just be rude to me just because you're curious. Like, I'm so tired of people telling me they're curious. That's why they ask the question. I'm curious about a lot of things too. You know, if I see a beautiful girl and she's got a nice body, I'm not gonna, you know, I may want to see her without clothes on, but I'm not gonna go up to her and be like, hey, can you get naked? You know, like,
Mm,
you just don't do that because it's just manners, and you know, it's just common decency.
it's rude.
Yeah, you just, there's a lot of things in this world I'm curious about, but that doesn't mean I'm just gonna ask it right away. And for me, it's not about, I say it all the time. It's like, it's not about that I don't want to talk about my eyes. I know that it's a conversational, you know, it's a conversation. I know. It's the fact that you didn't even say hi. You didn't even ask me how my day is, or you didn't even, like, this is your first view of me, and you don't even care about me as a person. You don't even care that we're talking about something really personal, or we're having fun. And I'll ask some of them. I'm like, did you like when you came into the live? Did you listen to anything that was coming out of my mouth? No, I came in, I saw your eyes, and I was typing. It's like, that's your problem. Stop doing that. Like, just get to know the person, man. Anybody, and I do it because I want you to be able to go live, or anybody to be able to go live. Because again, at the end of the day, we're talking about me with this, but it's not about me. They do it to everybody. I've seen pretty girls get called fat. You know, I've seen all kind of people with disabilities get made fun of just over and over, and it's awful. But it's, yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know how we got this way, but it's, we have to stand for something, you know? We have to fight for it
Yeah,
because it's not going to change, and I know that it's a losing battle being on the internet saying, "Hey, I want respect." But if you don't do it, you lose too. So you have to try. And if you can win over a couple people, and I get people every now and then will direct message me and say, "Hey, man, I'm sorry I did that. I'm sorry I said that." And it's like, okay, good enough for me. Cool. That's all you want. You just want your respect, you know, because it's like we struggle. We're people, man. Everybody goes through their own things. And, you know, we're talking a lot about mental health, and we struggle, man. I'm struggling with my mental health recently, you know, currently. And I'm still trying to be positive and kind to the world. So, like, what's your excuse? What's your excuse, man? You're 12. You don't have to worry about paying bills. You don't have to do nothing. So why are you on my case? Why are you making fun of that girl over there? Why? She's nice. She's not bothering anybody. So yeah, it's just kindness, man. And your generation is really screwed up because
tell me about it.
they have no filter. They just say whatever awful thing they'll just throw in. Just say a bunch of racial slurs and say Hitler and just random shit, and you're just like, what? What? Like, why are you doing this? Like, I don't get it, but I don't know if we'll ever get it. I don't know if we're meant to get it. I mean, it's like the 6-7 thing, right? I don't think we're meant to get it. It's not really anything. It's just nonsense.
It is nonsense at the end of the day.
Yeah. So like with your mental health, like is it primarily like depression? Is it anxiety? Is it all the above? Like what is your experience been with it?
I mean, with my experience, I have gone to therapy. I have seen psychiatrists, and they told me that I'm showing signs of. Well, I didn't. To be honest, I didn't actually get diagnosed officially, but I did. I will. I'm not gonna lie. I did go to my most recent psychiatrist because he was a little bit weird. I'm not gonna lie. He said some things that I didn't like and that were kind of unprofessional. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave, okay? And I mean, I'm currently out searching for a new psychiatrist in order to get a diagnosis because you know feeling so out of place, it really eats you up alive. It really makes you compare yourself to everyone, and knowing that there is something wrong with you, but you just can't point what it is. You just have like this range that doctors give you. Oh, you might have this, you might have that. It's like, dude, like it really, really messes with your head, especially because I am in my last year. I'm a senior. I'm going to graduate in 3 months, and I look at these people that I've seen for 6 years, and I just think to myself like, I can't believe how much they couldn't be any different than I am. I'm not talking about everybody's their own person. I'm talking about some things for them are so small, like they're like things that they don't even think about. They can do them so easily, and then there are things that I think about, and compared to that, I cannot do what they do. I mean, for example, I remember I was taking an exam, and I just looked around, and I realized like everybody is finished except for me. And this is not like something like, oh, I didn't study. Like, no, there is something wrong in my brain that cannot let me focus properly. And when I told my psychiatrist that, and when I told him everything, my whole life story, he basically minimized it to depression, anxiety, ADHD, and OCD. And hearing that kind of put like a weight off my shoulders, because it's kind of bittersweet, isn't it? To finally hear that you might have this and this might be wrong with you, but still sliding away from the fact that you might also not have it. So it's just so crazy because, to be honest, I don't know any people who might have OCD or clinical depression or anxiety. I mean, people have anxiety. I know people that have anxiety, but not like severe anxiety, and that don't really experience panic attacks and stuff like that. It just puts you off so much and makes you feel so distant from everyone. And especially being in a school, in a private school, may I say, and seeing all these rich snobs around you and thinking like, you have it so easy in life. Like, I wish I could have your life. I wish I was you. Yeah. It's just so bizarre how that mentality can really affect a young person, might I say. And essentially, when you look around and you believe that you're so different from everyone, and say you are such an outcast, you will eventually start to believe it. And I believe that's where everything went wrong, and that's where the real problem starts.
Yeah.
It's your view of yourself.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are some that just have it super easy, and when you're young like that, you're just like, how can I get some of that? Where's my fair chance? And when you're young and you have to learn that life is not fair, that's a hard one to swallow, because You're like, no, but like it should be fair though. Like I'm a good person. I deserve the things that they got, but it doesn't work out that way. And had to learn that a long time ago. And throughout my life, it's only gotten tougher, and it's gotten easier in ways too. But it's still tough, and it's like, damn, man, I'm still struggling all these years later. Like, fuck. But like, I do know that like my life is definitely better. I know things are a lot easier, and there's still a bunch of uncertainty going on, and I still have stress. I still stress out about a lot of stuff, but it is easier. But you have to
Mm.
kind of learn. You got to take your lumps in life, and you got to learn from them. You learn a lot more from your losses than you do your wins, and so you just, it sucks because you want. Yeah, I know what you mean, because I went through most of my life trying to figure out what was wrong with me. Like, I knew about the eyes, obviously, but like the
Mhm.
mental health stuff, I didn't really get into until my 20s. And I was just like really anxious all the time. And I always knew something was wrong, but it was like, you just didn't talk about it. It's fine. It wasn't as permanent. No one talked about it then. And so then, but I knew I was depressed. I knew I had anxiety, but I just sat there and dealt with it. It was awful. I'd cry a lot of nights, and I would just shake myself to sleep because I'd just be so panic stricken. But then it got to a point where my anxiety got so bad that I was like, okay, I have to do something about it. And then it was like, hey, you have depression, you have anxiety, so you should probably take some meds. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard, man. It's hard because you don't get to just pick how you start off. You don't get to pick how you finish in life. You got to go through whatever has been dealt your way. And if you can get through it, you become a really awesome, strong person, and you really find yourself in those dark times. But if you don't, if you don't even attempt to, you feel more lost than ever. And there's no saving grace. There's nothing, as most chances, there's no one's coming to save you. You have to figure your way out. Especially as you get older, you become an adult. You're like, you are your primary caregiver now. You have to take care of you. You're your best advocate. And so you just
Yeah.
kind of have to listen to you. You have to listen to your body. You have to kind of go with the flow, and you got to figure out if something seems like bullshit to you, then maybe it's bullshit. And you just got, because it's for the betterment of you. It's for your health. It's for your mental health. It's for your happiness, for your peace. And in order for you to be happy, you may require some things that others don't need. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, it sucks that some people have a head start, but don't forget, like, a lot of the people you go to school with, if you went back to see them 20 years later for a reunion, a lot of those jocks, a lot of those rich girls or pretty girls, a lot of them end up being nobodies. They had a head start. They just didn't know what to do with it. They were handed the baton and they go, what do I do with this? And then they just sit down and go, I don't know what to do. Right? Whereas you every day you're fighting, every day you're trying. Like, you're gonna work, you're gonna continue to push forward and do some good in this world. Yeah, and it's not going to be easy, but at the end of the day, like, your battle scars are going to tell a story, and you're going to do some good things. Whereas a lot of those people, they don't do shit. They just they try to live in that popularity bubble as long as they can, right? They try to hold on to their beauty, they try to hold on to their looks and their charm and all those things, but that only gets you so far. And for people like you and I, like, we have to fight for everything we got. And it's never going to come easy, but it's okay, because like I said, it makes you who you are.
Yeah, I feel like especially growing up and like realizing you're growing up, you realizing you're starting to be an adult and not really feeling like one. It's a very new feeling. I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it. At heart you feel like you're still a child, but you have to actually start how should I say this? I forgot the word in English. So I I think it's called Responsibility.
Oh,
Responsibility. There it is. I
yes,
got it.
yes, yes.
Um, you're starting to have a lot of responsibility. I mean, I'm not talking about just like paying bills. I'm talking about like keeping up a social life. Like social life, I feel like for me personally are the hardest to keep up because I'm a person who doesn't really open up as easily and is very anxious meeting new people and is very hyper aware of herself and just reads the whole room and it's just like it's a lot of pressure, especially for a young adult going through a mental health crisis or just in general struggling with mental health.
Yeah, for sure. No, no. But I look at like 18 to like 23 as like adulthood with training wheels, right? Like you're not really an adult, but you have to do some adult like things. But
Yeah,
you're gonna make like teenage, choices. You're gonna do some things where you're like, I'm 21, I can drink now, I could do this, and it's like, yeah, it's cute, but like because once I got to like 30, I was like, okay, I'm really an adult now. Like I understand responsibilities, I understand consequences. Like I realized that there was a lot of chances that I could have had in life that I squandered. There's also a lot of times that I could have went this way and I didn't, and it saved my life. Like, but when you're young, you just feel like you're invincible, right? You feel like you can just break your leg and it'll heal in 6 weeks, no problem, right? You can do whatever. But when you get older, you start to reflect on that. Like, oh man, I had 2 kids by the age of 22, and I did this, and I did these drugs, and I did that. And it's like, man, I didn't care about myself at all. But you don't realize that stuff until you get you get older, and you're like, damn, man, I was stupid. And I was a dumbass 20-year-old. So yeah, not let alone an 18-year-old. So but again, I also don't know about what the difference is in your country and all that. I'm sure there's also differences. Maybe you have to grow up a little faster where you are, but um, yeah, man. But don't put too much pressure on yourself either. Like remember that you are only 18, and the fact that you are wiser than most, man. You have life experience, and you have you have like street smart. Like you're becoming street smart, which is good. Like you're starting to learn the ways of life, and you're challenging it and you're questioning it, which is good because a lot don't even question it. They just go, oh, okay, this is, red is red and blue is blue, and that's it. I don't care, and they don't question nothing. They just go with whatever their government or whoever their parents tell them, and they do the exact same thing as everyone else, and they just follow in line like a sheep. But you actually, and maybe that's because it's the mental health thing, right? Because when you're mental health, when you have anxiety and depression, you're constantly questioning everything.
exactly.
And so even though it's technically a bad thing, right? You're always questioning your existence or your health or whether you're going to die alone or whatever the hell, right? You're always just beating the shit out of yourself, but you're always questioning things. But that also can add to the rest of your life where you're just like, well, what if this is not that? What if this is actually like this? And everybody else may go, well, I think you're overthinking it. It's like, no, at least even if I am overthinking it, I'm thinking about another option. I'm thinking about another way. And when you do that, you also think about other ways for yourself. You start to go, okay, maybe I have OCD, maybe I have this. How do I fix that? How do I fix, like, you become a problem solver. And you try to work on yourself. And by you wanting to go to therapy and a psychiatrist and whatever, take meds or whatever you want to do, you're admitting, one, that you have a problem, and two, that you want to fix it. And that's, a lot of people don't even like to admit that they even have a problem. So, kudos to you.
I mean, that is very true. And I also believe that the experience I experienced, which might sound crazy, I believe I wouldn't take them back because I believe that if I didn't go through what I went through, I would have been making the same mistakes now. And I believe making mistakes now at an older age is not as good. And I believe mistakes should have to be made in order to, become wiser and learn from your mistakes, because how else are you going to learn? How else are you going to learn? How else are you going to stop being stupid? How else are you going to realize that, actions have consequences. And yeah, man, I wouldn't take it back for anything. And if I had to, I would experience it again, in order just to just in order for me to realize not severity of it, but in order to really mirror myself and like properly think about the situation and the actions that have been made. I mean, I'm sure everybody was a stupid kid once and has done really stupid decisions,
Yeah.
and most of them would be like, "Yeah, man, like it's whatever," and then they'd forget about it. But I really take my experiences to heart. I really reflect on them a lot,
Good.
which brings me a sort of comfort to realize that I went through it now, and look at me now. I'm fine. I'm still here, and I'm pushing through, and I'm still giving it my best, and that's okay, and that's enough.
Yeah, you're still here. That's all that matters. And yeah, I mean, you've struggled with your mental health and addiction issues at a very young age, and maybe you got all your trauma out of the way. You know, even though a lot of
I
trauma tends to
I
happen as a
better.
kid. Yeah,
Yeah,
but maybe you did. And you know, again, obviously, you're going to go through some things throughout your life. There's no
of
hiding.
course,
We all know that you can't go unscathed in this life, but
of course.
still, it's like maybe you got a lot of your bad out of the way, man. And you know what? I'm not for doing drugs or getting into gangs or doing anything crazy or whatever, but like, everybody's got to experience life their own way. And sometimes you gotta, if you could come out of it on the other side of it, meaning alive, then you know what? Then it's like whatever, right? Like, because at the end of the day, like the addiction and mental health, all that stuff is a part of you. It doesn't define you, but it's a part of you. It made you, it helped you to get to this point, and it's going to help you to get to the next point. And maybe down the road, maybe you become sort of some drug and alcohol counselor or something, or maybe you just bump into somebody, a young version of you when you get a little older, and you go, hey, I want to help that young version of me. I see another Meg over there, and I want to go help her. And maybe that's one of your contributions to life, is just saving another life by keeping them from doing the same thing you did. And so that's the kind of stuff, because we all like dream. When I was a kid, first job I ever wanted to be, I wanted to be an FBI agent. I didn't even know why. I just wanted to. I think one came to my school and he was just like, oh, he was telling us all what it's like to be an FBI agent. I was like, can you arrest cops? He was like, yeah. So I was like, oh, so you're above the cops. He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, I want to be you. Like, it made no sense. I just said it
Yeah,
just because sounded cool in my head, right? But I never wanted to be that, right? And then I wanted to be a basketball player. I was decent at basketball, but my eyes were too bad. So you want to be things, but you never really know what you're set up to be. I never thought I'd be in front of a camera and doing a podcast and doing all this motivational stuff, because truth is I was a scaredy cat. I was afraid of my own shadow. So why the hell would I even talk in front of people? Why would people care about what the hell I have to say? And now look what I'm doing. So it's like, you just don't know what direction you're going. You're going in it. You just kind of have to go along for the ride, and don't look back on all your mistakes and all the things you did. Like, yeah, but you were young, and you're young and dumb. That's what you do, right? And it happens, and it sucks. And yeah, you could be mad at yourself for a minute, but at the end of the day, like, it didn't kill you, and you're not that now. So I don't know what it's like in your country, but I would imagine drugs are rampant in your country as well. And addicts,
yep,
there's a lot of addicts in the
yep.
world. Most of them die, or at least stay addicts their whole life. So the fact that you got off it and you're doing good, that's something, man. That's something, So you got to give yourself credit too, because you did it with very little information, because you're a kid. You're not doing it as a grown adult who knows better. So, like I said, you're ahead of more people than you think, because most people just continue to just do it. And they'll just say, hey, I've been smoking cigarettes, I've been doing weed, or I've been drinking or doing whatever since I was 12, and I'm 35 now. Like, and they just say it like so matter of factly, like, that's just what I do because I like it and I don't feel like changing it. But you're like, no, man, I don't want to be like that my whole life. I want to take care of myself, and that says a lot about you.
I mean, I would say I'm very happy and I'm very passionate about helping other people, whether that's my friends, family, strangers online. Just it does bring me a sort of joy, and it brings me sort of feeling of, even if I help that person the slightest, I'm happy. And it's funny that you say I was actually, but because I recently became a mental health ambassador at my school, and it just feels so so good to have, to finally, not to finally be able to help people, but to realize that, damn, like I can change a person's life. I can help somebody in the smallest tiniest bit. It doesn't even have to be associated with mental health. Just doing something for that person, seeing them smile, seeing them happy, seeing them be happy and be joyful. Even in that tiny little moment, it's truly so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's something that I really really also would like to do in my future. Yeah, it's something with helping people, because it's it's just so amazing. I don't know. I can't describe it. I really love it.
No, that's fantastic, and that's, I mean, you never know what the connection is to a person, right? Like, and
Yeah,
when you meet somebody, obviously, like I said, this is our first real conversation, and obviously the mental health is another thing, but like, yeah, man, that's our passion, right? Is we want to help people. And the thing is when I used to get asked all the time, what do I want to do when I grow up, or what do I want to do? Like, what kind of job do I want to have? And I never knew what I wanted to do. I just said I just want to help people. All I want to do is help people. I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't even have the confidence to do it. I just said I just want to help people. And then here we are, 30 some years later, and you're like, oh, I'm helping people. Like a lot of people. Like, oh shit, okay. I'm doing what I said I wanted to do. So shit, we're helping. Like, and so it you just kind of have to follow the path. I don't know if you believe in God, just like follow the path, man, that has been laid out for you. It gets bad when you start to when you kind of go, oh, what's over there, and you change your course, and you go a different direction. Just keep heading in the direction you're going. Like, you clearly like want to help people. You clearly want to be a better person and be a better human, and you want to help people so that they don't go down the path that you did, or even worse. And that's great, man. That's always going to be loved and accepted. So yeah, all you just got to do is just keep heading in that direction. You'll be fine, man. You'll be fine.
there are a lot of pressures now with the graduates as well about, well, what they're going to do with the future. I mean, I can't even count on my fingers how many times I get asked, what is your plan for the future? What are you going to do for the future? What do you want to study? Do you want to go abroad? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And there's always a part of me that really despises getting asked that question, because I, as a person who doesn't really know, and they're quite lost in life and doesn't really know exactly what they want to do, that question it's a big question for them. I mean, it's different when you have an idea of knowing how you want to go on about life, and how you want to move on with your life after finishing school, and it's different about knowing exactly what you want to do straight after finishing. It's really a really big pressure for me, because it makes me feel so different from everyone else, because for some reason everybody already knows, they have this idea in their head and this whole plan set out, and then you look at like at your plans, you're like, wait a minute, I actually don't know how to go on from here.
Yeah.
But I do also believe that patience is key. So even if you have a job temporarily that you don't love, but it gives you an income, you can save some money. I believe you should keep working towards that. You should keep working towards any dream that you have. It could be the silliest dream, but it's the thing. It's about you being willing and so hard driven to make sure that you reach that goal. And I also believe that's something that a lot of people don't really have dreams anymore. I mean,
No.
uh, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing either. Especially where I'm from. Where I'm from, my country, not the country that I live in, but the country that I'm from. We have, I believe, the highest unemployment rate in the world, and it's the culture as well that can really stop you from really wanting to not be your true self, but keeping you from what you want to be essentially as a person. I mean, in my country, it's so normalized to be prejudiced and racist and ableist, homophobic, xenophobic, just plain up disrespectful. It's just engraved in our minds since the day we were born. Also coming from a conservative country, it's our normal, which it shouldn't be, and really infuriates me because when you're somewhere where there's not many opportunities as you would like, and you have to go abroad to be able to achieve many opportunities, it really makes you want to escape from whatever is holding you back, of course, naturally. And I also think that's something I struggle with. I always have this feeling of escaping somewhere. I always have this feeling of, but I'm never really home. I haven't really known what is home in a long time. And that's something that I am trying to work on, especially with trying also to find who I am as a young adult. And I feel like it's just comparison is a thief of joy. And, with graduation coming right around the corner, it's just a lot of pressure for not just me, but also for a lot of people, I can imagine. So
Yeah, no, it is. It's a lot of pressure because it's kind of, once high school is over, it's like, all right, no more kiddie shit. Now it's kind of, we gonna dip your toe in the adult water.
It's real shit.
Now you got to start looking for colleges or jobs or whatever, and dating and all these things. You really start taking all this stuff way more serious. You can kind of get away with like high school not caring. You don't have to, like, especially for the first couple of years, you're not really, you don't need to know. Well, you still don't really need to know exactly what you want to do for college, but it's just, in general, like, you just kind of, you're coasting for a while. You're floating. You're not really giving a shit. You're just enjoying your kid life, right? But once high school ends, it's like there's a part where it's almost like your parents give you a wink, and it's like, all right, now it's time for you to go out and do something. Go show us what you're made of. And so, no, yeah, it's a scary time, but it's how you'll find yourself, man. You already have goals, and you already have thoughts of, even if there's like small little side missions, there are things that you want to do, and they could lead to bigger things, right? You could do something voluntary, and that could turn into your life's work. So you already have something worth, exploring. So just keep doing that. Just keep leaning into that. Like, you know that where your life was headed, and it wasn't headed in a good direction, and it's not perfect yet, and it may never be perfect, because I don't think there is any real perfect, but you made it, or I should say I shouldn't say you made it, because you're only 18, but you're making it. You're doing way better than most people, and you talk about all the things that your country is like and all that, and you're not those things, right? So that's wonderful, right? Like, me and you said it's easy to just be an ableist there, right? Well, you've come into my lives, and you've never once made fun of me. You've never once said anything bad about me, and and I love you for that. But it's you choose. It's your choice at the end of the day. You're choosing to be this, and you're turning out to be an amazing young girl. So just keep doing that, man. Just keep being you. Being you does work. I don't, I see things in people, and trust me, you have something. So most 18-year-olds, I don't care where you're from, most 18-year-olds are not as mature as you. So I wasn't as mature at your age. So please just keep doing that, man. You're going to be fine. You just got to keep on the path that you're on. Don't listen to your demons. Don't listen to those negative thoughts that say, you're not any good. This isn't, you shouldn't do this. No, because when you get closer, they get louder. It's a sign that you're actually closer to what you want every time they start to crank up the noise. So please just keep heading in that direction. You're gonna be just fine.
It's really so scary. Also, just being kind of feeling like a prisoner in your own mind. I don't know if you ever went through that, of the feeling of just not being able to escape properly.
Of course. More than I would like to admit. Yeah. But it's you got to fight your way out, though. You have to. You can't just lay there and take it. Like that. Life is one big fight with yourself, and if you just sit there against the ropes and you allow them to punch you, don't expect them to stop. They're not going to. They don't get tired. You have to start fighting back, and by you fighting back, that's by you getting out of bed. That's by you eating breakfast. That's by you showering and brushing your teeth. That's by you going to work. That's by you going to school. That's by you going to church or going wherever the hell whatever they tell you, don't exercise, whatever they tell you not to do it, or do some parts of it. If they tell you to shower and you can't shower because you feel like you can't stand, crawl into the tub and just turn the shower and just lay on the floor and let the water pour onto you. Whatever you got to do, man. If you can't eat a whole meal, scarf down a piece of fruit, piece of toast, something. Because it's like you have to fight back. And maybe today isn't the day you have full strength, but you have to try to fight back. And you're doing that, man. You won't allow yourself to be a prisoner forever. And, you'll, like I said, I'm not just saying it just to inspire you or just to keep you going. I mean, I am and I'm not, but just you'll be fine because you already have things that most people don't have at your age. And yeah, you're going to struggle, man. That's your story. That's part of your story, the struggle. But you just don't forget that you can struggle and thrive at the same time. You're allowed to have days where you just don't feel like living. You're allowed to have days where you feel like giving up. But what makes you is you don't. So don't forget to accept those bad days. They happen, man. They happen. But you have more good days than bad days, and you get up and you try and you fight, and who knows what your future is. Maybe your future is to get out of your country because you don't like the way it's ran. I don't know. Who knows what your future, or maybe you're the person that can maybe turn it around in your country, or one of the people. Who knows? But you're a light and you're needed in the world. So please just keep doing that. Like no matter what your head tells you and says, "Oh, Meg, you suck. You're ugly. You're whatever it is your head tells you." Don't listen, man, because you're not those things. Your head lies to you all the time. And you're doing great. You're about to graduate high school and you're about to go into the next chapter of your life and you're going to do great things. Is it going to be easy? No, probably not. But it's okay because you're going to wear that with a badge of honor and you're going to keep moving, man. You're going to keep moving. That's what you do. So just keep going. Like I said, the fact that you choose to get up every day, you choose to survive. I know there's days where you don't want to do this shit. You don't want to live because living, and it's not even that you want to die. It's just that you don't have the physical energy. You don't have the willpower to even want to live out the day. You don't want to die. You just don't feel like living the day out. But it's okay. You're allowed to feel that way every now and then. Because at the end of the day, you still choose to. Like how many days in a row that you had bad weeks, bad months, bad days where you just said, "I'm never going to make it through this day. I can't do it." And you made it through. And you're still here. So, and all that is preparing you for your future, whatever that is. So, you'll be all right, man. You got this.
Thank you. But I feel like, because of not being necessarily being different, but feeling different. It not only can it not just mess up like your whole brain, but it like I feel like a lot of people talk about mental health being invisible, which for many it is, but most of the times when the mental health is visible, there's a lot of people that pick up on that, and there's a lot of people that are just so nasty about it and so like ruthless. Let's for example take the people in your life that I see, that we both see almost every single day, being so rude and so obnoxious and just horrible. And it does make you. I don't know if you ever feel that way, but if you do, but if you realize that the people around you are slowly starting to pick up on your mental health or on anything about you that is remotely negative, they do start treating you differently, and that's something that I really, really am trying to work on, because I'm just so used to being the funny friend, the friend group, and being so bubbly and laughing all the time and cracking jokes all the time. But as soon as I get home, I'm a whole different person.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. You can only be the funny, strong friend for so long. You can only be that for so long until eventually, like, it's not funny anymore, and to where it hurts so much, and you can't be the one that checks on everybody. You can't be the one that everybody leans on. You actually have to start leaning on other people. And that's another hard pill, another reality check that you learn when you're really going through it in life, where you're just like, oh God, like I like this year when I've been going through it with the meds and stuff, right? I didn't text a lot of people Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I really didn't. I just couldn't be that guy. I'll text 500 people if I have to, but I just couldn't do it this year. I couldn't do it. And it bugs me because I love being that guy, but when you're in the middle of a storm and you're getting your ass kicked, it's really hard to be that person. So no, I get it, girl. I totally understand. Yeah, being that person, that fun and jovial, jokey person. Like, everyone knows I carry my emotions on my sleeve. So everybody knows when I feel a certain way. One, I also don't hide either, but at the same time, I can't really go, I can't be like, hey guys, I feel great. Like, if I feel like shit, I go, hey guys, like, it's how I talk. It's how I'm droopier. Just the way I walk or whatever. You can tell that I'm not right. Whereas when I am, you can really tell, because I'm really jokey and sarcastic and bubbly and having fun and laughing and and all that. So no, I get it, man. But it's that's what makes us, man. We're strong. We also just have to sometimes admit that we can't be strong all the time, and it's okay. It's okay, even as a guy. It's like, oh, guys don't want to show weakness or whatever. But no, man, it's okay. It's not weakness anyway. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to admit that you're in pain, because we all are at some point in our lives. And it's not. We got to put our egos aside, or we got to, or whatever. We are just. We go through it. Life is not always fun. It's not always good. Life can be really dark and really rough, and but it also is very beautiful too. So it's all right though, man. Like I said, these things that you're feeling, like, yeah, they're real, but they're also just a part of life, and it's about how you react to it, how you deal with it. Do you sit down and just take it and say, oh, I'm cursed, I'm broken, and I'm mentally ill? No, the world doesn't understand me, I'm alone, and I'm a victim. Or do you get up and go, you know what, all right, I feel this way, but I don't need to feel this way forever. And maybe even my feelings towards this aren't even what I think they are. I'm just going through the motions, and I want to better myself. I don't want to be in this dark place forever. And that's the thing. It's you really learn about someone's character when, like, how they deal with their dark places. Like, and you're dealing with it great, man. Like I said, there's no perfect way of dealing with it. There is no blueprint, because my blueprint may not work for you. How I got to where I got to may not work for you. Maybe certain parts of it will help you, but we're two different people from two different countries, two different genders. So many things. So it's like, yeah, you can't really learn everything you need to learn from me, because a lot of life is learning from your own experiences. So just take it day by day, and just sit back and realize what's happening. Be self-aware of everything around you and what's happening, and constantly contemplate and think and reanalyze what's going on, because that's how you're going to learn from your experiences, so you don't make the same mistakes you did before. So anyway, but yeah, man, you're doing great. I promise you are. I know it may not seem like it some days, because you're like, every day seems like the last day, but life gets like that. But something is happening. You just can't see it all,
Yeah.
But you're doing great, sweetheart. And I'm, maybe like in a year or so, we'll do another episode. We'll check back and we'll see where you are after high school and what you're doing with your life. Because I'd imagine, you're gonna do a lot. You're gonna do a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the future holds for me, but praying and hoping it's something good, because at the end of the day, I am the one in control of it. And I'm the one paving my way.
You are. But like I said, remember, you're only 18 too. So you don't gotta figure it all tonight. Just keep heading in the direction you're going. You already, like, the things you're doing at school, and you're doing so, and you, like I said, you're carrying yourself so well, and you have such a good positive vibe and aura about you. And so that's a good thing, man. I don't say that about everybody. Not everybody carries a good energy with them, and you do, and you've seen some dark things. So the fact that you didn't let it take you down there and turn you into that, you still kept who you are at your core, even though you dealt with all that. So yeah, kudos to you, man. I got to wrap up here because I got to go do some things, but I really appreciate you coming on, and you can text or call me anytime.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Sure. And like I said, I'll be on live later or whatever, but you got my WhatsApp number. If you ever need to talk, just message me, okay?
Of course.
All right. Well, you take care of yourself. You have a great day.
All right.
Well, nighttime for you, I think, but you have a great night.
Yeah. You have a good day.
I will. And like I said, I'm here, and thank you again.
Thank you.
All righty. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Oops, didn't mean to cut her off there. Yeah, guys, I got to go to Mike from Jersey's Subs, and got to go to the grocery store. I really don't feel that great. Good Lord. I feel very just bleh, just stomach, head, just my whole body just feels sickly. And I don't feel like I don't think I have the flu or anything. I just feel sickly, which I hate, but it's okay. We'll get through it, y'all. We'll get through it. I love you guys. I'll be back next week. But yeah, thanks for the support, and keep being strong, keep fighting, and I hope good days are coming soon for you. All right, guys. Love y'all.